first impressions. St. Gallen is a really small place, and coming from a small town myself, I really like this. You meet people by coincidence. Again, this creates a really nice work environment, I find. And also, buildings are conveniently located. Secondly, St. Gallen appears to me very interdisciplinary in different research formats. Last week I was at a PhD student conference where different perspectives came in from different schools. And since the world is not compartmentalized into different research areas, it is really great that St. Gallen is able to bring these different perspectives together. Finally, St. Gallen is super international. You hear these different languages. You meet students from different parts of the world. And I feel difference is really valued, which makes it easy also for new people like me to integrate and make the most of the work and research stay here. The international governance of conflict management, and in particular I focus on United Nations peacekeeping operations, also known as the Blue Helmets. And one of the research findings that I have is it really matters what the Blue Helmets, the peacekeepers, do on the ground. If they help with organizing elections, if they educate voters, if they generally support the democratization process in the country, they do not only help stabilize the country in a particular situation and moment in time, but they also help build the foundation for long-lasting peace. Another research area I am really interested in is international civil society organizations. And in particular, I'm interested in the observation that governments around the world increasingly restrict and repress the activity of civil society organizations. And one of the findings of my research is that governments that commit a lot of human rights abuses, but that have signed up to an international treaty that forbids these human rights abuses, they are the ones that are most likely to restrict civil society organizations so that the information on their human rights abuses cannot gain international attention.
First of all, I felt a warm welcome at both universities and institutes I'm affiliated with, that is the Institute for Implementation Science in Healthcare and the School of Medicine here at the University of St. Gallen. And one of my tasks I'm very proud of is contributing to the Joint Medical Master, that is teaching medical master students at the intersection of economics, medicine and technology. Well, we investigate how everyday technology can be used for the prevention and management of non-communicable diseases, including common mental disorders. Examples are diabetes, asthma, COPD, or mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. And what is very important here that we try to really reach and engage those individuals with a lower socioeconomic status. Why? Well, they are substantially more affected by non-communicable diseases and common mental disorders. Well, one specific example is our focus on healthy longevity. That is, we try to use everyday technology to help individuals implement a lifestyle that slows down our biological aging. That means we try to compress the time of comorbidity so that we do have a healthy, long life.
I think the very first impression was that the campus is really amazingly beautiful. And I still, every day I teach, I feel very privileged to arrive on the campus. And for me personally, it's also very nice because the campus is made of so much concrete, and I've been at the Rural University before. And in some ways, it really resembles the campus, but of course it's much smaller. And I really like the way it's made in detail, and there are like elements of wood and fabric, and that makes it very warm and welcoming. So that was my very first impression. And I think the second impression was reading the list of names for my courses, and I was impressed by the diversity of different cultures reflected in the names of my students. And I think that has to do with the internationality of the university, but also of Switzerland being so diverse by itself. And so I was very curious starting to teach and to getting to know these students better. And as a cultural psychologist, I'm of course very interested in getting to know these very different cultural backgrounds. And I really like this place for that reason. Yeah, as a cultural psychologist, broadly speaking, I'm interested in processes of meaning making. So I'm interested how people make sense of their body, of their emotions, their relationship with others in everyday life. And I'm interested in how these processes of meaning making differ in cultures and how they are becoming more and more complex in a world in which knowledge plays an important role. And maybe to give you an example, I'm working on parenting. And so I'm, for example, interested how this very basic feeling of being attached to a child is understood very differently in different cultures, and how, for example, psychological knowledge is picked up by parents and used to make sense of this relationship between the child and the parents, and how parents then also define what they think is a good relationship or is a bad relationship. And I'm interested in these complex processes and dynamics of also changing the meaning of this basic relationship, which probably is as old as humankind, but the way that we understand it is always changing, and I find that really fascinating.